So I'm continuing to mess around with the color palette, and I decided to go with something really dramatic to pair against the strawberry, and that's this wonderful purple color. So I decided to go with a purple gradient, so I just applied that in my Layer Styles panel, a little purple gradient. And I decided to bring out the green and the strawberry, and not really focus so much on the red, and let the strawberry be the only thing that's red. So let's continue to work on balance. I'm still not 100% on this type used. I think it might almost be too different now that everything else is so clean. So let's go ahead and find a different font. So we don't need this one. Go ahead and type in a new. It's a really trendy font, but if it doesn't work with a particular piece, that's okay. It's better to make it look cohesive than to be trendy. So Archer is a really nice font. Let's check it out. Archer hairline, let's do thin. Let's go a little thicker than that. Let's do extra light. There we go, that's a nice thickness. And do they have an italic? Yes, they do. That's that italic I've been looking for. So here's a little bit of an issue. I have a sans serif, a bold sans serif, and a serif. And it's nice to mix sans and sans serif, but this is almost too close in size. So something needs to kind of be a little bit different. So perhaps if I made this a little bigger, it will make it different enough, and that works really well. You don't want things to be too similar, but be a serif and a sans serif. If you're going to use a serif and a sans serif paired together, make sure they're a little different in size or a little different in something. Something has to be different about it. Okay, so I'm liking that a little bit better. Let's change the color. Let's use a softer color. There we go, bringing out the green a little bit, and let's go up here and see if we can't bring out the purple. Maybe a dark purple, light purple. And I still think it needs to be darker weight, or a thicker weight. Let's do Book Italic. And I can fiddle around with fonts for hours and still not be happy. So for right now, I think that's okay. I think we need to move the entire strawberry up a little bit. Oops. Let's bring the entire piece up and balance it so we have a little more white space on the right side. And I think we need to maybe make the strawberry smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and save it just in case I don't like the strawberry smaller. Go ahead and select everything and deselect any of my font that I accidentally selected. Perfect. Let's make the strawberry a little bit smaller. And let's put it right about there. Perfect. Gotta have white space. Very important. Let's bring this down a little bit. And you know what this needs? I know exactly what this needs. It needs some kind of border, because right now it just feels like everything's floating. It doesn't feel grounded. So what if we added a little bit of a bar? And let's bring out, we can bring out the green or the purple. Let's bring out kind of a medium purple. Put that in the bar. You notice it kind of brings everything together a little bit. And I want to make this A punched out. Since I'm not an illustrator, I'd probably do this in Illustrator. Color overlay, I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit and make it the same color as the background, so the A doesn't look out of place. So this is a nice clean flat design, but I want to add even more dimension by adding a background layer up in the top half of this. Kind of set the tone and the mood for the ad. I found this on Pexels. It's kind of a generic supermarket photo. So we're going to go ahead and drag this in, and size it up, and make it one of the lower levels. So let's bring it all the way back down in the layering system to below the strawberry. So the strawberry is still not completely cut out of its background because I like some of the shadows down here. So let's just take the eraser tool and just kind of erase just the top areas that we'll need. Just getting some of the big stuff, just like that. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to screen this back a lot, which is making it more transparent. But one of the things I want to do, let me keep it in color, but I might make it in black and white. But let's go, I'm going down to the blending modes over here, and I'm going to go down and make it a luminosity blending mode right here in my layering panel. So that's going to blend in with that cream background. What I want to do is I want to get rid of this whole bottom glossy area because we have all these shadows we don't want to interfere with. So let's add a layering mask to our main background layer. So that's going to be right here, this icon. And so let's add a layering mask. So we're going to get our gradient tool, which is white and black if you know how to add a layering mask. And we're going to create the gradient. And anywhere that it is black, it's going to mask it. And anywhere that it's white, it's going to show it. So this is a great way to kind of make one part of the image show and the other part not show. I can simply just take the eraser tool and erase the bottom if I wanted to, same effect. But I feel like I have more control over this one. So let's reduce the opacity quite a bit. Just want it to look like there's a store background. And I may even want to blur it. So let's do Gaussian blur. And let's see what that looks like. Just enough to look like there's something in the background. Perfect. So that's before. Nice clean shot, nice clean ad, nothing wrong with it. After, we just have a little bit of placement, setting, gives it a background, gives it a tone. I think it looks a little bit better. So I would love to add a little bit of texture on our clean words. So I actually have a texture that I got online, ready to go. This is just what I'm dragging in. I'm going to make it the complete length of the word, and I'm going to drag it below my clean word. Where's clean? There it is. And I'm just going to select my clean word, getting the magic wand tool, going to select. I need to also hold down shift and select a little bit in the A right there. And I can go back up to my background layer, or I think I dragged it underneath, or drug it. There it is. Delete. So now if I bring this layer on top, I have a perfectly cut out texture. So I'm going to play around with my blending modes a little bit over here and see what looks kind of neat. So overlay, soft light looks great. Hard light's too harsh. Luminosity. Let's try multiply. That looks kind of neat, but I really think soft light was really neat. So let's make it a little more transparent. Perfect. There's one other thing I want to do with this word, and that's add a little shadow here. So let's zoom in to 55%, and I'm going to take this word. I'm not going to take the texture. I'm actually going to take the actual word underneath, and I'm going to grab my burn tool and see if I can't burn a little bit. Sometimes when highlights they're not showing up, I switch it to shadows. Oh, and I know why, because I have the gradient overlay on. So whenever you have a layer styles effect on, it overrides anything you try to do with the burn and dodge tool. So one way to get around that is if I'm happy with the gradient, I can right click and rasterize layer style. So when I rasterize the layer style, I can now edit it. I can now go and do the dodge and burn tool, so that it's no longer being overrid by color overlay or gradient overlay. So that's like a little trick. It took me a while to figure that out. Now I'm just kind of making that a little dark. Maybe not quite so dark. So I'm going to go back. It just makes it a little more 3D, makes it look like he's interacting with the sea a little more. I think it gives a little more of a pop, doesn't it? And I wouldn't mind adding more shadows to the strawberry too. We'll go to our background layer and see what I can do there. And I can even add a shadow to this little thing to make it pop out more, this little call to action. So I can grab my brush tool and paint one on. So I'm just going to paint a little bit of a shadow, drag that underneath. Oops, we don't need that anymore. Drag this all the way to the bottom. Not making it easy for me, is it? Might even be better if I did the other one on top. Like one more. There we go. Let's screen it back. Reducing the opacity. This gives it a little bit of a pop to it, a little bit of a 3D look. I could do the same thing with clean as well, but I don't want to do too much. There's starting to be too much going on. So I could toggle this background to see if I like it like that or that. So let me do one more thing and I think we can wrap this entire ad up.